Hey guys, Richard here for Beyond College Success, and today I'm here to chat to you about a very important topic, and I'm sure you'll be interested to know. And it is the topic money. Money. Everybody like money these days, right? And the topic is money belief. Very, very important topic, as you can tell. So I hope as a young adult you take this episode really seriously because I think if you do not take this episode really seriously or in the future do not take it very seriously, then you're really not going to be able to achieve the financial success that you want to achieve in your lifetime. And I think for me personally, I rather I rather have a great beliefs about money than have shitty beliefs that keeps me poor and stuck in my life. And I don't want the case to be for me that after my entire life, I only discover that I only achieve 10% of what I can honestly achieve financially. So that's why it's important that we get rid of all those negative limiting beliefs about money that we perhaps have at the moment and be able to really bring to awareness what kind of beliefs we have and being able to change it. So that's exactly what we're going to go through. So the first idea here we're going to talk about here is the idea that we want to talk about money on your mind. So money on your mind essentially means, or I want to really flip this around and ask you, what does this phrase mean to you? So first of all, it doesn't definitely mean that somehow money exists in your mind and that we can come into your mind and rob money off you, right? That isn't what this statement means, but rather this statement means that money to actually become financially successful and financially free, independent, so to speak, that you need to work on your psychology of money, right? This is where the whole issue is at, right? Because for most of us we grow up with negative beliefs about money that doesn't really serve us and doesn't really give us the results we want. So later on we're going to do an exercise that really help us unwind ourselves from this negative belief, at least to bring some consciousness into the process of how we spend money and how we relate with money in so many ways. So there's a study out there that you could find, so many people have spoken about this, but it's the idea of lottery winners. So there's a study out there that almost nearly every lottery winners, so people who win the lotto overnight, they became financially free overnight. That within 18 months of that period, most of them lose the money. Now I want you to pause this video and really ponder why did these people lose the money. So idea case, people want to be rich, and yes, the jackpot or whatever game they play give them the financial freedom that they want. All these people don't have to work ever anymore. But what happened within 18 months is that most of these people lose the cash. Now, why did this happen? Well, I want to submit to you that this happened because of one reason here is the kind of mindset that people have about money. So the kind of mindset they have about money, and it's in the mind. So for these people, they have really kind of poverty mentality and poverty association with money, such that when the money comes, it just becomes painful for them to hold on to the money because in their minds, they have a very negative belief about money. They have beliefs about money that money is hard to make, money doesn't grow on tree, and then all of a sudden they have this money and they don't really know what to do with it. So it's really like if you want to become wealthy and being able to keep the money that you make, then you need to really work on your mind and your own psychology. Otherwise, you're going to lose the money. Even if you become successful overnight, there's a high chance that you will lose the money if you do become successful and by playing the lottery. So that's what this term money on your mind, right? So you need to really get into your mind and really change those beliefs, so to speak, right? And then the second idea I want to talk about here is the idea that we want to talk about the money belief itself. What kind of beliefs do we have about money? If you are anybody like me, definitely, or an average person who exists in society, then I can almost guarantee that you do not have a very empowering sort of beliefs about money. Therefore, your relationship with money is just a little bit off and it needs to be brushed out, right? And because of this, it's really hard honestly very difficult to have negative beliefs and then still be rich. Can you imagine you being rich and then in your mind you're still thinking that money is hard? These two doesn't go together. It just simply doesn't go together, right? It's either one or the other. For me personally, I rather leave all these limiting beliefs that people have and be rich. Of course, people have certain limiting beliefs that doesn't serve them, and for me, I rather leave those and be rich. Who wants not any of this, right? So this is why we need to understand where this belief is coming from, and to point that out is most of these beliefs come from our childhood, right? Depending on our situation when we're growing up, right? Most of us grew up in, maybe, I don't know, depending on what country you are in, but we don't grow up in the best of homes, right? So our parents or whoever looked after us really modeled a really disempowering sort of way to look at money. So have you ever heard terms like money is hard to make, money is evil? Terms like money doesn't grow on trees. The rich people are always stingy with money. That's why the poor people doesn't get money. But actually, that's not the case. It's just for you to be free, you need to really work on your own beliefs, right? There's nobody really holding money from you for your own beliefs about money that's really holding money from you. So we're going to do an exercise right now so that we can get into our belief systems about money, and then we can, at least bring some consciousness into the whole process, right? So the exercise I want you guys to do here is to take out a piece of paper. I really want you to sit down for whatever 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and really reflect on your past, right? Go back to your past and really reflect how your parents, your guardians, whoever looked after you, how they really modeled money for you, right? For me personally, I remember when I was growing up, I, my situation always changed, but what I noticed about my childhood was the fact that money wasn't easy to make, right? Therefore, my interpretation of what I saw other people doing was to take the money and really hold on to the money. So in a way, that made me a very stingy person. But obviously, I've done this exercise and I've walked through the process, and I know that sometimes I could be a little bit hard on myself, or at least too reserved with money, such that I don't want to spend it, even for the things that I know will give me massive benefits. So after doing this exercise, I really kind of realized that that's kind of really my programming of money, right? And over the years, it has changed because I've worked on this, right? But now I have a better relationship with money, and I definitely have in my consciousness when to really pull a boundary and kind of let go of old limiting beliefs so that I can get much, much, much better results, right? So for you, this might be different. For example, it might be that you get money, and the way money was modeled for you was that if money comes in, that you should be quick to spend it. So whenever you earn money or you work hard to earn money, you easily and quickly spend it. So right there, I want you to realize that that is the case. So if you do this exercise continuously or over time, you kind of come to realize that this is kind of your old programming, and that you need a new way of actually doing things right. Now, just doing this exercise alone wouldn't really help you, right? Obviously, as you can tell, but it's really to create a conscious awareness of the process that goes into it. Then, what's required is actions, right? You will need to take an action, right? So let's go back to the example. Say, for example, whenever you get money, you spend it. So the actions that will need to be, or the action that would need to be taken, in your case, would be that okay, whenever the money comes, you don't really just blast it away. You take time, and then you strategize and make sure that the money reaches every aspect of your life, rather than just taking that money and then just spending it away, right? I think a lot of us, right, we just have this kind of programming whereby we're not really conscious, right? And that just kind of tends to ride our life, right? But honestly, guys, I really want to encourage you to really take this to heart, right? And I think that you want to be successful, right? And I also heard a quote that if you give a very good person cash, right? What, like, you give them a lot of money, what will happen eventually is that these people will do greater things with it. Whereas if you give a evil person or a bad person money, with you give them huge sum of money, then they're going to do destructive things with that same money, right? So I basically the idea here is that money is going to amplify whatever character you have within you. So for me personally, I want to have a lot of money, and I don't think that's spiritually bad. I don't think that money is the root of the all evil. I think that money is a good thing. Personally, I think money is a good thing. I rather have money than be broke, quite frankly, and I rather be successful than being poor. So that is it here, guys. So make sure you take actions, right? It's not good enough to just look at this exercise and then go like, oh well, that's great, and that's it. No, you got to do the exercise. Make sure you do the exercise, guys. Make sure you do the exercise. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I want to really announce something different that I've never done before. I am now available for coaching. So if you want to get yourself coached, if you want to get yourself coached by me and really get yourself unstuck in whatever area of your life personally for you, then I am available. I'm going to leave a description of my contact details so you can organize that. Guys, I really want you guys to be successful in your life, and I definitely want you to achieve the financial success, right? There's nobody really holding you from actually becoming financially free except yourself. And I hope I've made this very clear in this video. All right, guys, hit the like button, subscribe, and leave your comment down below if you want more of these videos coming out on a weekly basis. All right, guys, that's it. Bye.